Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus. Tonight, the Democrat had their first debate for those who want to be president of the United States. Today, they had 10 representatives, and tomorrow they're going to have 10 additional ones. My proposals were not accepted, and in fact, I did not submit them for this particular event. However, I have made the offer at least several times before, and I would like to share them with you here tonight. And I do this because I've heard everything that those candidates today and those of tomorrow and those at the last presidential election and the presidential election before then and the presidential election before then, I've heard them all. And none of them materialized as they spoke of them. Tonight I'd like to share with you where I'm coming from. And I'd like you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that I would like for you to make sure that you, participate. Because if you do not, it would just be useless. I'd like to come from a place that is very popular. Most American citizens have been exposed to a religion that they call Christianity. And they faithfully, at least millions of them, adhere to at least the tradition every week. I'd like to take what Christianity is about and offer that to the American people as my platform. Most people believe that based upon their faith, especially in Christianity, that there will come a day that this whole world will end, and most of them will go to a place called heaven. And they say that is a beautiful, beautiful place, a wonderful place where everything seems to be ideal, everything seems to be all right. And everybody says they want to go to that place. However, in order to go there, there's a certain requirement that is met that will possibly get you there. I'm offering you, the American people, to exercise those requirements today. And while you're not there, in so doing, you will create heaven on earth. Many refer to it as paradise on earth. Now, there supposedly isn't any pain and any suffering in heaven. So there will be no pain and suffering of human beings here in America. Now, what am I basically saying? I'm saying to the people of America, the principle that God uses as far as creating the peace, the prosperity, the freedom, the joy of life, and the fulfillment of dreams here on earth is a very simple matter. So simple, ladies and gentlemen, until you should understand it quite easily once I share it with you. And it's nothing new. I shared it with you a dozen times. However, tonight I'm offering it as a opposite, as a different choice of that which you will get from the Democrats, of that which you will get from Donald Trump or the Republicans, and a something that you say that you truly want, and that's to go to heaven. Well, there are a few things, ladies and gentlemen, that are absolutely mandatory as far as this campaign goes. One is that there is a job for every American. Every American. And they will engage themselves within the systems of employment that already exist. Those systems have been designed to take care of our basic human needs for survival. And as such, every individual will have a choice to choose a career that will give them their greatest joy. That means basically that every citizen that can will have an opportunity to play a part in the creative process of their own survival, a job of choice. Now, it is the master's understanding that in so doing this, that it would engage and make available to the working population enough people to engage in health care, that it might be available from the womb to the tomb, and that all of the research necessary to come up with the best solutions to the problems of sicknesses and diseases will be discovered and maintained. Not only that, enough healthcare workers will be available to provide us an assistance to anybody that requires of it. It won't be like what they say the socialist system is, where everybody wants it and it takes so long because of the unavailability of the resources that are there for those who got money, who can choose another source and access it much quicker. But with the number of individuals that will be engaged in this particular profession, there will not be any more of a waiting time than it would if you were going to a private doctor. This is health care for every American. Also, ladies and gentlemen, another thing that's absolutely essential and required that you, the people who are of the employment category, can be the best that you can be at whatever it is you've been given to do, and that is education. Education, unlimited and unrestricted. Now see, health care and education, these are basic human rights. They are inalienable rights. They are essential for your healthy survival. And they are guaranteed to every American and every human being on earth. Also, we will have enough of those engaged in this profession to make sure that it will be open and available to everyone. To everyone. That doesn't stop there. Other resources and essentials that are necessary for your survival. And what are they? Nothing but food, clothing, and shelter. Now, there will be enough individuals engaged in this process that no American will ever be without either of these three that I've mentioned there. Now, I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that all of the resources that are necessary to be used in the manifestation of these things that I've just mentioned to you, they all come from a power that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't feel. They are either in the earth, on the earth, or above the earth. They are either seen or unseen. And we say they come from God because no human being had any effort in their being. And so we say this is from God to the people on earth. And we are focusing on America. So we got our basic essentials guaranteed to protect us as far as survival is concerned. Now the Senate and should I just say the Congress will be made up of people that you have chosen that agree with this concept of creating life on earth. And the purpose of it will be to engage your plans about the rest of the things that's involved in life. For instance, like infrastructure. There will be enough people engaged in infrastructure to do all of the things that are considered in infrastructure, like building highways, building bridges, building buildings, building all of the other essentials that are necessary that the people determine are something that they want. And it will be the duties and the responsibilities of Congress to respond to the people's desire and the people's will. Now we understand that some things might be more important to certain people at certain times. And based upon your democratic process, you will be able to determine what they are, understanding that everything that is created, everything that is made manifest will be for the benefit of all the people, just like a job, a health care, education, food, clothing, and shelter. Nothing will be for some and not the others unless they just don't desire it, but nothing will be designed to prevent others from having something that somebody else has and you want it. Also, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to certain things that we have being discussed, for instance, immigrants, people at the border, our means is to be engaged in such a wonderful way that we actually become a light to all of those who might be living in darkness. That what we do would be a measure for them to do for themselves, that they might create a paradise wherever they are at. At least it is our purpose, it is our mission not only to do that for ourselves, but to be available in such a way that we could assist other nations and other powers to be just as fruitful, and no one would be running away from their systems of government. When it comes down to guns, you know, people talk about guns, and we know all the things that's been going on in America with guns. I say when it comes down to guns, what we will do is, first of all, well, that if you got a gun, you keep a gun. That's on you. But we plan to create a lifestyle that's so wonderful, no one would ever think about using a gun. And so if the time and when the time arrives where you feel that a gun is just a handicap and you can dispose of it, then that will be your choice. We will not be emphasizing any control over you with your gun. We just want to make sure that you have a wonderful, peaceful, and productive life that will not require you to engage yourselves in crime and violence. No reason to hate anybody or be prejudiced. No reason to be racist, but to create for the most part peace and prosperity and freedom and the happiness of life and the fulfillment of your dreams. Now this, my friends, is something that all of us who are Americans and many of us who have come here from other countries have been exposed to. And this is a God plan, something that is superior to all human beings, something that we say that we want to die and go to, but the opportunity is made available to you now to engage yourselves in the same process that works in heaven, to work it down here, to engage yourselves, to protect yourselves, to understand that your life is just as important as your soul. And in fact, they are one and the same. So I'm more or less concerned about you as a people meeting these requirements so that you don't have to hate, that you don't have to prostitute, that you don't have to engage in drugs, that you don't have to do any of these despicable things, but that you can live joyfully, peacefully, and, my friends, that the world can see you and be able to change their ways based upon what we have developed and used and become an example for them. And those things that we have to utilize to trade with other countries and other nations so that we can benefit from whatever their uniqueness are, and they can do the same with us. But I understand, ladies and gentlemen, that in order for this to be successful, in order for this to work for all people, we will not use money. Money is a tool of the systems of the world today, and we see what kind of trouble it causes. We see what kind of pain and suffering it causes. It causes lying and cheating and stealing. It causes terrorism and war. And this new system that I propose to you today is no place for that kind of stuff. But in order for these to happen, ladies and gentlemen, it will have to come from you, the people, because there are those who profit from the system that we currently live in, and they will not want to change it for anything. And yet, even though this system that we speak of today will be as beneficial to the most richest people of this country today, and likewise to those who suffer the most in this country today. And there will be no billionaires because money is not used, and there will be no poor-heirs because there is no money that is used. What we are doing, ladies and gentlemen, is taking the message of God and His heavenliness and bringing it to America, because we know that those candidates that's running for office, those that you're going to hear tomorrow, and those that the Republicans will put forth, just like all the ones that ever came before, are men. And their visions are limited and restricted and abusive, and ours are not. So I want to thank you so very much for giving me these your few moments. Until tomorrow, you get a chance to hear a different group. And we ask, will they say anything like that which is being said to here tonight? Now I'm making this available to you so this can be included in your choices. Not that I want to be president. I have no interest in being president. But I have interest in making this a better world. And it can only happen if you agree with God. And your agreement is made manifest through your actions. Till next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.